we are going to help spark creativity, your creativity when it comes to making food. Marisa Mariella of Marisa's Easy Kitchen says it starts with some tiny changes. And wow, I can only aspire to. And this, she came up with this in about half an hour.
Well, not quite, but thank you for thinking that.
Yeah.
So creativity in the kitchen. You know, teachers reward their students. Parents always encourage their children. Employers are always looking for creativity. It starts in the kitchen.
Okay.
Right? Sometimes we have that talk in our head about, oh, mine will never be as good as my mom's, or we compare it to some, you know, professional who obviously has an expertise. Yes, has an expertise in that. You know, let's try to detach ourselves from that and show a little kindness and just be courageous and do little changes, like you said, little steps.
And you say tiny little steps. So it could be, maybe it's a recipe that you've tried before. Try switching out like one little ingredient.
Exactly. So I've got bread here. So if you're used to making bread, maybe switch out a cup or two of the whatever flour you're using for something else. I've got here some spelt flour and oat flour. I threw in some dark cherries and walnuts, some seeds, whatever it is that interests you and you have handy in your pantry.
Soup is another way to get creative, right? And we've got some video of soup. And you say all it takes, you start with an aromatic.
Yes.
So what's that? That could be
aromatics,
onions?
yeah, depending on which cuisine you're talking about, it's really anything that builds a base. So it could be onions, or garlic, it could be tomatoes, it could even be meat, and you're sauteing that in a fat, whether it's olive oil, coconut oil, butter. So if you're used to making a soup, maybe switch out an aromatic, switch out the fat. And then whether you add a broth or you add a stock or even just water would be fine.
Okay.
And then add whatever vegetables that are on sale. You know, get them simmering in that broth, in the water, add some herbs, maybe switch out something that you're a little bit more unfamiliar with. Show a little courage. You know, make sure you season your soup. And look what I have here. I've got a sweet potato Indian curry soup because sweet potatoes were on sale last week.
And that's a good way of being economical with food as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I've got here some dessert. You know, everyone has leftover candy. Do you have any leftover candy? Tell the truth.
Okay. What if I did?
Okay, if you had leftover candy, throw it in some cookies. Maybe a batch of cookies that you're familiar with. Throw in some chopped chocolate bar. And this cheesecake here, I have that caramel-filled chocolate, and I made a cheesecake. People will think that you're, you know, doing something really gourmet, and really all it is just
leftover Aero bars.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
You brought a number of different ways to do chicken. So when chicken is on sale, grab some, and then you've got 3 different ways here.
Yeah, now I'm of Italian heritage, so I'm very familiar with all the Italian fats and seasonings and herbs, but I try to expand my palette. This one here is Thai, so it's really a lot of the similar ingredients with the onion and the garlic, but I added some coconut milk, and I added a little bit of cumin and some ginger, and there I have a Thai-inspired chicken.
And that's you showing your creativity.
Yes, exactly. I'm not comparing that to some, you know, worldwide known chef or the Instagram post, because this is mine. Make it your own. I think that's really what we want to take away from this. I've got here a Middle Eastern one. I cooked with some students, and they're the ones who taught me that. And I used pomegranate molasses, a very unfamiliar ingredient to me, but I loved it. It added such depth to the chicken, along with some cumin and coriander. What might be unfamiliar to you is very familiar to someone else, right? So just expand that a little bit and try to disconnect from that unfriendly, negative self-talk.
Right, that, oh, I can't make that because I don't know how to, right? So you either learn, or maybe just switching things up, or maybe there's a recipe you've always made and just like change it. So what if, you know, whatever ingredient isn't available, try something else.
Try something else, right? And if you compare yourself to your mom's, or maybe your dad has really excellent cooking, you know, appreciate and show gratitude for that. But at the same time, don't put yourself up to that standard. They've spent a lifetime perfecting that recipe, and maybe you're going to come up with a different version that your children will remember how wonderful it is.
Okay, a great way to have fun in the kitchen too, right?
Yes, about having fun. And then you get to eat.
Yes, which is what we will be doing after the show. Oh, look, in the show, we've almost out of time. Marisa, thank you so much for coming in, for sharing your creativity with us. We've got more Morning Live coming up tomorrow. We'll be well fed.